the point at which the media comes in, and you mentioned this earlier, is that during the period of campaigning, we are duty-bound to be balanced. We are duty-bound as an industry, as individual organisations, as a collective institution. We are duty-bound to give equal time to these people according to their party's performance at the last election. And that seems to have delivered huge numbers of votes to Jeremy Corbyn. So giving Jeremy Corbyn an even break has seen him dismantle a 20-point lead in the polls. And when you mention the media, there's a little bit of me that wonders what the hell would happen if they had to be like that all of the time, given that the newspapers carried on maligning him, coming close to libeling him, insulting him, degrading him, debasing democracy itself by being so ad hominem and so personal, and yes, Paul Dacre, I do mean you. What would happen if Jeremy Corbyn could somehow sustain that even borderline impartiality that other areas of the media like us were duty-bound to show him? Jeremy Corbyn lost the election. Theresa May won. But I tell you what, that phrase Pyrrhic victory has rarely seemed so relevant, hasn't it? The idea that you actually win a battle, I forget precisely when it was that Pyrrhus secured his infamous success. You win a battle, but your casualty count is so huge that to all intents and purposes, you actually lost. How much responsibility lies at her own feet? She couldn't have had an easier ride from the press. She was rolled out the red carpet on the Daily Mail, front pages about how finally we've got a politician, we've got a Prime Minister we can trust. No mention at all of the U-turn on dementia tax on the next day's front page. I can't imagine a leader having it easier. Just got all of these people who seem to treat it like a game. This is our children's future. This is our future. It's our economic security and our national security. All of these things are more uncertain than they've been for generations. And these people, particularly, I'm sorry, but particularly the rich ones, seem to think that it's some sort of game, seem to think that it's some sort of exercise in machination and secret communication, and I hate that. I despise that with all of my being. Labour Party people have done it as well. Labour Party people have done it in recent years. Labour Party people may well be doing it now, but they're not in government at the minute. The people who are actually in government seem to have spent certainly pretty much every day since the referendum result working out new ways in which to prove the contempt in which they hold the British public while pretending that they're on the same side. A combination of fiscal conservatism and a degree of, I suppose, liberal social policy. That's what she was supposed to provide, isn't it? Centre-right, not hard-right. Centre-right and centre-left still gloriously unrepresented, but I suspect the centre-left is going to start dancing towards Jeremy Corbyn with rather more enthusiasm than the centre-right are likely to dance towards Theresa May. And the centre ground is up for grabs. Even the centre-right is up for grabs. This is where the Trident example will become absolutely crucial, and this is why, at risk of blowing my own trumpet even more violently than usual, this is why you need to find somebody somewhere in the media that examines these issues in a little more detail than the kind of two-dimensional binary, oh, he'll expose us to nuclear war. Jeremy Corbyn would like to get rid of Trident, but his party voted against it. And for all his flaws, his myriad failings, his devotion to that sort of democracy is absolutely complete. So he is a leader who will be able to lead a party in a direction that he personally wouldn't have chosen to go, but as a respecter of democracy finds himself compelled to go. So even that's not that confusing anymore. Personally, I still have big problems with some of the IRA legacy, and I have huge problems with some of the DUP legacy, but that's what's called being honest and consistent. I've got problems with both of those associations. You can't have a problem with one and not with the other. Bob, what's going on in Edinburgh?
Hi, how you doing?
Good, mate.
Yeah, I'm quite excited, actually. I think it's quite a good result. You spent quite a lot of time just there talking about democracy. I think, actually, if things play the way they should in any sort of common sense kind of world, then we should end up in a situation where Theresa May is required to get agreement from other parties and the whole political spectrum to actually negotiate the Brexit deal, to decide what the terms are, maybe even start a cross-party negotiating committee, which would seem to actually then benefit everybody.
The national interest represented by the national political parties.
Yes, rather than...
as reflected by the will of the people, resulting in a sovereign parliament being full of MPs.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You're mad. You're crazy.
Yeah, there is a danger that she will just try and use the DWP and railroad everyone into doing it her way because she thinks she knows best.
Well, she can't do that. She can't do that with the numbers she's got. She simply can't do that. It doesn't matter whether it's 10 DUP MPs that have to be kept sweet or whether it's 10 chomping Eurosceptics or 10 Anna Soubries. It just can't be done. It can't be done. I mean, the position is almost untenable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's going to have to actually start respecting everybody else. Yeah, well, ultimately, like I say, I think that's a good result.
I see why. I mean, in terms of stability and uncertainty, it's anything but a good result.